Okay, so if you're following along with the ebook, this is page 211, pedal 6/4. So besides cadential 6/4, there's three kinds, all much easier than cadential. Pedal is probably the most involved and is not involved at all. What's a pedal tone? It's a long tone in the bass that holds while other voices move, and that is how the pedal 6/4 works. The example that it shows you on page 211 gives you a 1 chord, a 4/6/4, and a 1. So that's like C, E, G. C stays in the bass. What happens when you move E and G up by step? You get F to A. So that gives you a 6/4 chord right in the middle. So to build one, build a chord, keep that bass note for the next chord, and move the upper notes by step, and then move them back. So it's also sometimes called a neighbor 6/4. Pedal or neighbor, same thing, because the upper voices move like neighbor tones. Go ahead and listen to all the examples in your book to hear more of what these sound like. They're not functionally that important, right? They're kind of like ornaments. So for example, this is, remember what a cadential sounded like. Here's a 1 chord followed by the cadential. And here we go. And here's a pedal. That bass note now stays the same for 3 chords. So that's pedal or neighbor 6/4 for you. Passing 6/4, I might have lied. Passing and neighbor are probably about the same amount of intensity. A passing 6/4 works like passing tones. So now we're on page 213 if you're following along. One example is a 4 chord followed by 1/6/4 followed by 4/6. A passing 6/4 fills in the space between, it makes stepwise motion in the bass. So let's say you're going from a 4 chord, we'll be in our favorite key of C. So we're going from a chord that has F in the bass to a 4/6, has A in the bass. And we want to we want stepwise motion. We don't want to jump from F to A. We want to put a G in there. That could be a 1/6/4 chord. G with C and E in the top. So if we want to go basically from this 4 chord to this 4/6 chord, let me keep that voicing the same. So 4 to 4/6. Only thing that's changing is the bass. We're going to fill it in with a G in the bass in between for a 1/6/4. So here's your 4, 1/6/4, 4/6. What we need for a passing 6/4 is voice exchange. What's voice exchange? If your bass is going F, G, A, some other voice has to go A, G, F. In your example 23.10, it's in the soprano. That's a sure mark of a passing 6/4. So to build one, you make a chord. Let's go ahead and do a 1 chord in C. If we start on 1, we want to end up on 1/6. E in the bass. What's between C and E? D. What chord is D the 5th of? A G chord, which is 5 in C. So 1 in C with C in the bass. 5/6/4. So D, G, B, D with D in the bass. 1/6. I think I messed up my voice exchange in the upper voices, but again, if bass is going C, D, E, some other voice has to be going E, D, C. Let me do that better. So again, remember when you're going along analyzing and you come up with a 6/4, you want to write in the margin CAD, PED or N for neighbor, P for passing, and your last, but by far the easiest, very ornamental, no function at all, is an arpeggiating 6/4, which you can just write ARP. All that is, you know, you get let's say you've got a bunch of 1 chords in a row and you don't want them all the same, you want to redistribute the voices. You can make one of them a 1, one of them a 1/6/4, one of them a 1/6, just for some variety. The most famous example is My Country 'Tis of Thee, in the middle. Then where my na 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 na. We often keeps the same harmony for the whole measure and arpeggiates that chord in the bass because just for some variety. So that's it. Cadential, neighbor or pedal, passing, arpeggiating. Now you are free to use 6/4 chords in your textures.